I want to make this video as a little instructional if you guys aren't familiar with Tesla AutoPilot. And right now we are on 2020.4.1, and you can see I've got like 123,000 miles in my car. And let's start this thing off with a bang, maybe. Not an actual accident. I definitely don't want to do that. But I just watch what happens. Like, my seatbelt is on, but watch. I'm gonna unplug my seatbelt. Watch what happens. Whoa. Okay, I gotta turn it back on again just from unplugging my seatbelt. I guess that's the lawyers right there with the self-driving features. And I didn't even notice that until today when I was preparing for this video. I had to do that. Well, anyway, I am on a little trip here. As you can see, I've got like 46 more miles to trainest. You can see I've got a leaf on my dash at different events. At 7, the pickup truck does show it, but you can see this other big truck coming up. You see that on the graphics? Let's zoom out. And there is that truck. It recognizes pretty much everything, every vehicle on the screen. If you guys aren't familiar with how this works. It's been sold anyway since, and I'll show you things, but it doesn't. The wheel is different because it's not the leather wrapped or the faux leather wrapped or whatever. I actually ordered this when I ordered the car in late 2016. It's one of these urethane rims, you know, so it's totally vegan. I want to make sure the car didn't have any animal animal hides on it, like they still made on Teslas in 2016. You can see again stuff in the screen. Just showing up a car coming up, approaching on the left. There's the car. It's aware of everything, so you get the idea quickly that this car is smarter than you. It's constantly watching in all directions. It sees what's going on, and it can anticipate things a lot faster than a human being, because there's no way. I don't have eyes in the back of my head. I can't be looking at this in the rearview mirror and forward at the same time and the side views at the same time, but this thing is constantly doing all of that. So once the software gets developed, we know it'll definitely be smarter than a human, safer than a human, get in less accidents, that kind of thing. And you can see how it's doing now. Right now it's not really having to do anything challenging because I'm just going straight on the road here. I've got it set at 76. I've got auto lane change activated, and that is, you can tell that because of Navigate on AutoPilot. And you have to select the automatic lane changes, which I have in order to get that active. So if we needed to make a change, like if this car in front of me was starting to go down, let's say 60 miles an hour, well, AutoPilot would make the lane change. Let's actually speed up so I can show you how that works. Let's lock us on at 85, even though I don't really want to go that fast. We'll see how this thing responds as we approach this vehicle with a set speed of 85 miles an hour. Actually, can I set it any higher than that? I can set it to 90. Wow. Okay, now it's making it's signaling. It's looking, it looked. You can see where it shows you it's going to appear next in the lane, and boom, it does it. Okay, I'm going to drop it down now. I don't want to go 90 miles an hour. This thing will do it with ease, but I don't want to do that. I want to go back. And I would think if I slowed it down like that, all right, it's not going to do it, but I'm going to make the lane change so you can see what it looks like, the graphics. See how it shows you where it's going to be? And it shows you going right into that spot. Now, I need to turn the signal off manually because I did that. But you see how it works. It's almost like you're playing a video game, only it's your car driving, and it's controlling the game. And I would say, you know, at highway speeds like this, this system is so reliable now. Although it has shut off from time to time, and I've made videos on that. Just suddenly shuts off. That doesn't happen very often. I use it a lot, and that rarely happens, but it does happen. But on the highway, I'd say it's almost like a level 5, almost on the highway, on limited access interstates like this. So if you look back at some of my previous videos, and if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead over to my YouTube channel or any browser. Just type in adigitalnomad.net. That's adigitalnomad.net. I've got over 3,000 videos on that channel. You can go back and look at the history of how AutoPilot used to be. I mean, it used to be that this wheel is constantly going back and forth, back and forth. I remember when I first got it, I have AutoPilot 2. You guys may know there are just 4 different levels of AutoPilot systems. The original Tesla cars didn't have any AutoPilot until about 2014. And then I think they made this sensor suite standard, I believe. And that was AutoPilot 1. It had only forward-facing cameras that went forward like that. It didn't have any cameras on the sides, because there's 2 cameras on each side of the car. And it did have a backwards camera, because you can see I'm looking at that, but I don't think that backwards camera was effective at doing anything with the AutoPilot 1 system. Let me know if you know any different. But then they added the side view cameras. You can't see them now, but as you can see from it viewing vehicles approaching me when they do, it's using those cameras and other proximity sensors and determining what's going on. Then there was AutoPilot 2. Once AutoPilot 2 was released, that was in October 2016. AutoPilot 2 included, I believe, the upgrade went from just forward and rear facing cameras, and actually there's a radar there too, and a few proximity sensors, but it lacked side cameras, okay? AutoPilot 1 lacked side cameras among other things, because AutoPilot 2 added those side cameras, which is 4 in total. 2 on the driver's side, which you can't see, 2 on the passenger side, which you also cannot see. It added those. It also added redundancy to power supplies from the battery to the motors. There's redundancy there in case something goes wrong. And there's also redundancy in the steering. You know, the steering in these electric vehicles, there's no traditional direct connection. I don't think anyway. Yeah, I don't see how it's even possible. I don't think there's a direct connection between the wheel and the tires, but there has to be a redundant system in case the steering fails when the car is driving. So all vehicles built since October of 2016 have those redundancies built into the steering, into the battery system in terms of the powering the motors, and also has added 4 additional cameras. And when they launched AutoPilot 2, they kept the same control unit, which is right here. I have the control unit. It's MCU1, Master Control Unit 1. That's what I have on my vehicle. Since I kind of slid in, if you've heard some of my videos, watched them on digitalnomad.net, you've known that, you know, I think that the most valuable Teslas have already been created. They've been built between October 2016 and ordered before the end of 2016, December 31st, in a few months' time there. Mine was ordered before the end and built in March, I think it was. That's when I took delivery. So all that took place, but I got the old MCU. I didn't get the upgrade to the 100 battery. At that time, the new MCU was not available, but the 100 battery was. But I'd have to lose the free lifetime unlimited electricity at superchargers for the life of the vehicle. That was the old plan. The new plan, if you can get unlimited free supercharging, it's for the life of the original owner. It's not for the life of the vehicle, so it doesn't add as much as from an asset point of view as one that's for the life of the entire vehicle, regardless of ownership. So then into 2017, I believe it was, I think it was 2017, summer 2017, they upgraded to what they called AutoPilot 2.5. And I believe 2.5 was the addition of MCU2. Now it looks the same on the outside. It's a screen here. Right behind it is the at least on S and X, right behind it is the computer. This is before Model 3 was launched. They upgraded the computer, so they had produced the original computer. If you think about it in terms of computers and how fast that changes, from 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It was 5 years of the same computer, and I've got that. So this is like a 2012 computer in a 2017 early build car. Then summer 2017, they upgraded to a newer, much faster computer, which I don't have, unfortunately. Elon Musk originally said you could upgrade to it, but now he's kind of backpedaled and says he can't. It may have something to do with economics of the company, because that would be that would make the Teslas I think are going to be most valuable even more valuable if you could upgrade the MCU2. It just makes it a much more pleasant experience, and I'm sure there'll probably be additional features, and I think there are, like real Sentry mode. I have a Sentry mode, but it's like a half-ass Sentry mode. It doesn't do all the things that the full Sentry mode does because I don't have MCU2. So you got to think there's all these little combinations. And if you're thinking about buying a used Tesla, you really need to know this. You need to know what you're buying. And it's really hard to tell sometimes. So MCU2 came along. That was AutoPilot 2.5. That was the change. And then I believe in 2018, I believe it was like spring of 2000. Actually, maybe it could have been 2018 when they launched 2.5. For all I know, I may be wrong on that because it's actually 2019 in the spring when they announced the new full self-driving computer. Because in S and X, they're different than 3 and Y. 3 and Y, which is Y is about to be launched, it's a small SUV, have only one single computer that controls everything. And of course their screens are landscape instead of portrait, like this is. But I have two computers. S and X have two computers. They have one, the main control unit behind this screen here, and there's another computer here on top of this compartment. They call it the glove box, right? Does anyone wear gloves? You don't even need gloves for self-driving car. I don't know what they call it now. Anyway, that over there is the other computer that I have. And I have a computer in there, but unfortunately I can't even display right now the new self-driving visualization. You'd see like more on that screen. You'd even see cones, stop signs, traffic lights, everything that it sees, even though it doesn't react to them yet. But I can't show those because I don't have the new computer, and because I also don't have the newest software, I don't think, or maybe I do have the new software, I'm not sure, but I don't have the new computer. That new computer, self-driving computer, which they announced in the spring of 2019 and started installing on all new vehicles built since then, was the full self-driving computer, and that completed hardware 3.0, AP AutoPilot 3.0. So I've got AutoPilot 2.0, I'm way back, but I will upgrade to, I don't know, I'm guessing AutoPilot 2.75, I'll call it, because it'll be above 2.5 when I get the full self-driving computer over here. I'll have all the visualization, but I'll still be stuck with MCU1. And if anybody knows if Tesla's going to allow the upgrade to MCU2, please let me know that in the comments. I would really like to get an upgrade for that. I think anybody with that would. And oh, by the way, the only reason why I'm getting this computer upgrade is because I purchased the full self-driving package. I purchased it when I bought the car. So what I was told when I bought the car and was in writing is that if you buy the full self-driving, then you'll be upgraded. Your car will have whatever it takes to do the full level 5 self-driving if and when that becomes available. And of course I'm going to need a new computer, so anybody who's already purchased the full self-driving package, if they have anything below AP 3.0, which is 2.0 people like me and 2.5 people, they get the upgrade to the new computer. They have to retrofit. I think they can do that with a Ranger, I believe. Ranger is a mobile service tech from Tesla that can come out without you having to go anywhere into the service center, which is great because the Tesla service experience is terrible. Okay, I'm if you're watching this in the TSLA shareholders group that I have, Tesla investors on Facebook, join if you want. Yeah, I'm a stock owner, and I'm a happy stock owner because I bought most of my shares around $230 a share. It's getting close to $1,000 a share now, and but I know the service experience is terrible. I'm documenting my entire experience here. That's why you want to go and subscribe to my channel, adigitalnomad.net. I'm documenting the entire ownership experience that I've had since before I even bought the car. Like, some people have asked me, like, how'd you buy the car? Well, I went online. Just went online to their website, and I didn't even deal with a human until I had to call, because I did have to email somebody asking about the special steering wheel. It was not an option. It never was an option online on their website. But what you had to do was you had to contact them after you placed the order, which I did. I'm not sure if I talked to a human. Actually, I don't think I did. I think I just emailed them, and they got me set up with the email. So that's how that went down, which was nice. Oh, and let me also mention this. This is considered, and I'll say for the camera, a cell phone holder. I just don't have the new updated cell phone holder. All right, the new updated cell phone holder, I can't remember who makes this, is different. This is flatter, but this it's basically a little weight on the steering wheel, which kind of makes things go into self-driving. Oh, and also, if you notice here, I'm on chill. All right, I keep my car on chill all the time. Nobody needs the amount of power that Teslas have. That's how you tell it's on chill. Chill is just a slower mode. It's still plenty fast. It's still probably faster than any car I've ever owned before I bought this one, in terms of passing time and 0 to 60 acceleration time. Passing time is more important though. It's even faster with passing times. People don't even talk about that much. But anyway, I found if you look at the history of my channel, I was eating up the front half shafts on this Model X. It's got 2 motors, dual motors, one front, one rear, and it gets so heavy and has so much torque in this front motor that, you know, the fact that you can turn these front wheels left and right is a real burden and a strain on the drive system. And I know they got upgraded parts now, and that's why I'm just telling you all the stuff is on my channel, adigitalnomad.net. Just go ahead and subscribe if you want to find out the history on this. I am still not convinced. Oh, look, we're gonna do the automatic lane change. Let's see, someone's approaching, but we're gonna go. Okay, that was all on its own, nice and smooth too. Oh, the lane changes are so much smoother than they used to be. Watch my channel, go into my channel history if you want to look at some lane changes. I felt like in the past the lane changes were so not smooth that they created this problem with the front half shafts getting eaten up because they were just jerking the car around at high speed under power too. Especially if you were passing somebody, you were going slow and then you're all of a sudden it floored it. It's just another reason why I put it on chill mode. That person right next to me, I guess I can't really move over now. Look at the glare on my screen. Okay, it sees it there. I really should get out of this lane now. I think it should move me out, but you see it's not. And I'm just doing this for the camera so you see this. If it's up to me, I would just move over now at this point because I'm really barely passing this guy up here in this van, if I even pass him at all. But like, these people are passing me, and AutoPilot sees this happening. So AutoPilot should be moving me back out of the passing lane, but it's not doing it. That's unfortunate, but I'm sure that this will get better over time. At least the lane changes are smooth and they're fairly predictable, even if they're not fast enough in certain circumstances. Like right here, it should really knock me over into the middle lane. And if I see someone else coming up behind me, I might just do it myself because I don't want to annoy people. You guys know that, right? Always stay over to the right. It won't matter after a while. Left lane passing only, because these cars will be so smart, they'll be able to figure it out. Oh, and by the way, when do you think this thing is going to be full self-driving feature complete? I don't think all the features are out yet, but I think Tesla and Elon Musk are saying by the end of this year, which is 2020, it should be feature complete. Now, will that mean it can actually drive level 5 on the highway? And level 5 is basically autonomous driving. There's different levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think some people are saying what Tesla has now is maybe a 2, but I think it's more like a 3 or a 4 on the interstate like now, like what we're doing. But it's still not intelligent enough, as you can see, to move over. Although it does recognize like we're creeping up on this van, but it's ever so slowly. In my mind, it really should have moved over. Yeah, we're just barely creeping up real slow. Alright, I'm going to bump the speed up a little bit so I can not just hang right next to this person. And then I'm going to drop it down. I'm going to try to make a lane change. Let's see. Right in between this van and this white car. They're going about the speed I want to go. Is it going to let me do it here? There. It speeds up and slows down. It kind of gets it just right so you get in that spot. It does a very good job of that. That used to be something that was very difficult for this, but now I guess it's still difficult, but it does an excellent job. It's not like in the past where it really, really struggled. That just doesn't happen anymore. And again, excuse my dirty car. There's somebody going up pretty fast. They're gone. And that van, they decided to overtake me. Actually, I'm going plenty fast as far as I'm concerned. You can see that it recognizes the van is right there. It shows your progress as it's moving. The van just hanging next to me. That's what I was concerned about. That's why I guess that van didn't like me getting in front of him. Comment with your own experiences too with AutoPilot. If you're a new AutoPilot driver, if you've had your car for a while and you've seen all the software upgrades, and really I'm only talking about AP 2.0 and above, specifically with full self-driving option, because AutoPilot 2 without it is not going to have all the features right now, because it does. Not only is it limited because I don't have the computer, but it would be more limited if I didn't have the full self-driving option. There's other features that wouldn't even be available to me right now. Such as, what is it? I can't remember what all the features are, but smart summon in parking lots, things like that. And also added somewhat recently is, see how this truck is huge? If it senses that, it'll actually scoot over in a lane. Yeah, I think it's scooted over to the left. Yeah, see, it's not centered anymore. Now we're over to the left. We're not centered because it senses that that truck is large and hogging up a lot of lane. Once I go past it, it'll recenter the vehicle. There, and it's there, recentered it right now. See, now we're back in the center, which is nice. It never used to do that until the recent upgrade. And it's kind of funny, I'm talking to you about all this stuff on a car, like I showed you before, guys, that is like 122,800 miles on it. And I'm still getting upgrades, and it still works, and it's going to be smarter and smarter as time goes on. Here's another big truck, oversized load. Let's see how, let me see if you can, I want to zoom in here on the screen so you can see, it shows that the car is right in the middle of the screen right now. You saw that truck. We're approaching the truck. I just want to show you if it does scoot over. Actually, that truck's way on the right. There, it moved over a little bit. Whoa. Well, you can see it's getting tight on both sides. Well, anyway, that wasn't a good example. And actually, that earth mover that was hanging over the edge, I don't think AutoPilot really catches the fact that earth move was hanging over the edge. It really is just looking for the main part of the vehicle, which is, I'm just letting you know, you got to really watch out for that when you're driving. Don't assume it's going to see that thing hanging over the edge on that 18-wheeler back there. Any kind of oversized loads is just not quite there yet. I probably shouldn't have done that, but at least I didn't end up scraping into it. That would have been bad. Alright, so we've got, what, 17 more miles? We pull into our supercharger destination. Yeah, we'll just hang out here for a little while. And yeah, let me know any questions you have about self-driving, how that works, and like I said, if this is new, if you're just watching my car drive itself and it's freaking you out, I mean, this is the way of the future, and it's pretty much here right now, which is one of the reasons why Tesla's stock has just skyrocketed recently. And I'm also have a few comments about that. There's a massive oversized load up here. Look at this. Tesla stock used to be less than $200 a share in June of 2019, but now it's almost $1,000 a share. Yeah, let's see how it handles this situation. You see that up there? There's a massive oversized load. Massive. This ought to be interesting. And we're going to be here for the whole thing because we got 16 more miles till we get off the highway. I'm glad you get to see this. I want to see how it handles this. Wow. That is one heck of a wide load. That is an oversized load for sure. Did you see it? You'll see it in a second if you haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to get into the right lane because I can't stay in that lane. I already know that. Now this truck is not going to be able to pass it, I don't think. I think I may have to manually pass because this 18-wheeler, I don't know if they're allowed in the left lanes. You can't even see that oversized load because this thing is blocking it so much. So we're not going to have any kind of challenge here, I don't think. And actually, I'm not going to touch the control yet. I'll see if it's going to tell me to get over to the left. Or if it's just going to change lanes for me. It hasn't done it yet. We're down to 68 miles an hour. I'm set at 76. We're almost 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. Look, you see that oversized load up there? There it is. Anyway, we're gonna catch up to that soon. Yeah, it has not knocked me. Oh, there, finally. Now we'll get this thing moving. There's nobody there. A lot of times I think it's smart. It recognizes, it waits until no one's there before it says it's gonna make the lane change. At least it seems that way to me anyway. Look at the size of that oversized load up there. That is like almost 2 lanes wide. Yeah, AutoPilot's smart enough to realize we're not going into that lane. I wonder what it looks like on the visualization. There's a small vehicle and a big truck. It's showing them as 2 things. Wow, that's a big hot tub. Is that for like Disney World? San Juan pools. There's another oversized. Oh, that's a front truck up there. I guess it's not another one. They just have a front and a back truck. That front one is really far ahead. We should move over to the right lane now. We definitely should. You think, right? I mean, why are we hanging out in the passing lane? There's no one to pass. This is one of these times where the software is just not quite ready for prime time. Hasn't figured it all out yet. See, that truck should not be passing me. We had plenty of time to get out of the way. And the system just didn't do it. Here comes another one. At some point, I'm just going to have to get out. This seems kind of basic. It seems like it would have had this figured out. Like, here comes another. I can't even really get out of there now. Get out of this lane. At some point, here, I'll hit the blinker on, even though I know someone's there. Let's see what it says. See, there's a red. It shows it red. You can't do it, can't do it. So that red is nice. Whenever you look down at the screen, if there's something you shouldn't be doing, that red shows. That's new too. My car was not like that in the past. So many features I've had added since the car was new. Like the windshield wipers are automatic. I didn't have automatic wipers when I got the car. Believe it or not. This is an expensive car, over $100,000 when it was new. I didn't have automatic wipers. But those cameras that mount forward, they actually see the rain, and they use those cameras to, to basically watch for raindrops, and they programmed it in, and then they added automatic wipers. Now I have automatic wipers. That took about 1.5 years, I think, almost, after I got the car, I think, until I got automatic wipers. It seemed kind of basic compared to these self-driving things, that they would have had that early on, but I'll tell you, it is tough with these cameras, and I've done some videos on that on my channel too. Remember, it's adigitalnomad.net. Adigitalnomad.net is the channel. Go subscribe. I've shown about how these cameras have some weak points when you're driving, specifically with condensation, heavy fog, and then it knows when your wipers are on because your wipers are constantly cleaning right in front of these 3 cameras. There's 3 cameras behind you that point forward. So it knows to limit your speed actually when it sees that the wipers come on. It's all integrated like that. Yeah, we're gonna move over to the left. Yeah, we're scooting over to the left side of the lane a little bit. But overall, it's a smooth ride these days. Nothing like it used to be. Oh my gosh. When I first got the car, I didn't know if I could live with it. It was just constantly rocking back and forth. Like the worst nervous driver you've ever met, On the highway, all the way down the highway, all day. It would do it. But it was neat because I didn't have to have my hands on the wheel. It was doing it. And if you look at my videos, you see what I'm talking about, just search them up. You can see some of that history there. And thankfully, it's already ancient history. It's not even that long ago. It's the same car, which is even funnier. My same car has gotten so much better. There's an X5. Alright, we've got 9 more miles till we get off. I might just hang on here until we pull up to the supercharger. You can see how we do on secondary roads and what it can't do, which is basically nothing. It can't really do anything on secondary roads. And we just moved over to the left. It sensed that truck. We're not in the center of the lane anymore, according to the graphics. I can see we moved over. Now we're back over to the center, right there. Just made the transition. Yeah, it's so nice about that because the dotted line, and it just never moved. It never skipped the beat. So if that person just drifted the least amount of, space, drifted over a little bit, way up here, coming up here in a second, with the on-ramps doing that too. And I know that a number of people who have Teslas around that time frame with that software got in an accident on the highway on the acceleration lane. It's a known phantom braking issue. This is one of these wild. You seen these things worse just south of Ocala. Nowadays, I have to get my foot right next to the accelerator if I've got autopilot on when we're approaching an acceleration lane on the interstate, limited access roads, and I'm in the right lane, because it will just start braking for anything. And a lot of times it'll brake for no reason at all, but it only does it in those areas. It's not a real true phantom braking thing. It's just looking out, it's being overly sensitive. I guess the lawyers got involved, when there are accidents now, it's like hypersensitive now to anybody that might even be there. And more often than not, like I said, there's phantom braking that occurs. It's especially bothersome when you're towing a trailer. I'll tell you that right now. If you've seen some of my trailer towing videos, I've got one where I was towing for about a 1,000-mile trip when I first got my trailer. It's a really cool video. It's like 3 hours long. It shows you everything that I experienced with that. And that is really annoying when you're towing your trailer, because you're usually going slow, you're in the right lane, and that thing, I just got to keep my foot down on the accelerator to push that thing down, because I know it's just going to break at some point. And the way you counteract that without shutting the system off, which is then you got to start it up if you shut the system off, is just get your foot on the accelerator. It says it limits functions at that time when you're doing that, but at least you're not going to lurch forward because it hit the brakes, and you lose all the momentum too if you're towing. So that's not fun. You don't want to do that. All right, we got 4.8 miles now till we get off. So if you haven't ever driven a Tesla or driven in one, like I said, all Teslas are capable of this, built since October 2016, unless you didn't pay for the full self-driving. It is an option. It's like $5,000. So a lot of people who buy Teslas don't get it. And it is like software. It was bad at first. It's been really bad, and it's definitely not perfected. But eventually it will be, and who knows? Then according to Elon, they're going to charge you a lot more money then. So I'm like an early adopter against these early adopter benefits. This person's mirror is way out there. So even if you've been in a Tesla, they may not have all these features. And I can't wait till I get that full self-driving computer. I would love to get, like I said, the MCU upgrade, because my screen is already yellowing. I know there's an ultraviolet treatment apparently. If anyone's got the ultraviolet treatment, let me know. How long does it last? Does it even last very long at all? It needs to last for a while. I hope it does. Alright, we're getting real close now. 3.3 miles, 3.2. I'll show you how we get off the highway. I'm going to let AutoPilot and Navigate on AutoPilot do all this on its own. Person was in a hurry. But it's starting to get crowded. We're approaching Ocala. A few more cars on the road. Not any kind of major traffic by any means, but this whole system does very, very well in major traffic. I've got a lot of videos on my YouTube channel too. Check it out. digitalnomad.net. All kinds of videos. Just search up the channel. And I've gotten into some really sticky situations actually on the DC Beltway where it's done this Navigate on AutoPilot by itself. All right, 1.9 miles. Not going to do anything. We're going to let the system decide what it's going to do, when it's going to do it. I'm just going to show you how it does. We're going to watch. scooted over to the left a little bit because of this big truck. You can see on the screen we're scooted to the left, and now we're moving back. Now we're centered. Now we are. Just moved us back. It's doing better in that transition too. It used to, when that feature first came out, it was pretty abrupt. All right, there you go. See what it's doing. That was easy enough. Oh my gosh. That was pretty easy. I don't know if it waited till it passed that truck and then hit the signal, because sometimes it can be real dumb, you know, and hit the signal where it's not going to get in at all. But if it's got to go, someone's got to brake or speed up for me and help let our vehicle in, and it still does really well. Like DC Beltway traffic, like I was saying, I've got some automatic lane changes with navigating on AutoPilot, and it seems to do a really good job. Now there's no deceleration lane here. It's just got to cut off quickly. See? No deceleration lane. See how smoothly it can do this? That's good. Exit speed limit 35. Alright, navigating AutoPilot is off. I'm going to lower the... Whoa. Right, we're braking. I'm going to have to take over here in a second. It's doing all the braking though. I'm not doing any of this. And it's obviously not going to pass this vehicle. But I'm still not doing anything. I'm still just letting it do its thing. It might get me right into my lane too. I might not take over at all. It's doing this. Alright, now we gotta wait for the light. We're just a few blocks away from the supercharger, as you can see on the map over there. We have to make a left turn here and then make another left turn into the mall. Now it's not going to be able to handle this. At some point I'll have to take over. It's going to try. It always tries to do stuff. You'll see. It'll try to do this, but it's going to totally freak out and not know where the hell it's going, or it's going to drive straight. Oh my gosh, there's a sign here. Wait, is it going to follow the vehicle? Oh my gosh. Oh, see? It took... No, it lost. So I had to take over. It didn't know what to do there. Truck decided not to go. It's asleep at the wheel. I'm doing all this. I'll turn it back on so you can see how it does on secondary roads. I'm gonna lower the speed down. I don't want it to get it'll get up the speed fast, even with the chill mode. It always does. See, it's nice and smooth on the braking. Actually, it doesn't really do any braking until the very end, and the pedals do move when it's starting to do stuff like that. I think the brake pedal, anyway, I think if I remember, I see it go down. The accelerator pedal doesn't move, but I think the brake pedal does. But it really doesn't have to brake at all. If you've ever driven a Tesla, as long as you have it on standard regen and not low regen, as long as your battery pack isn't almost all the way charged, because if it is, it cuts off the regen. Or as I found, if the battery pack is starting to get hot and knows you're going to supercharge, it will not let you regen either. But as long as it lets you regen like normal, you almost never need to use the brake in a Tesla. You can pretty much one-footed driving anywhere you go. And it used to be like you were totally out of sync with traffic, but now as more and more people are getting electric cars, you're not so out of sync anymore. And as the system's getting better, it's also adjusting, and it's fun to watch. It's cool because it kind of eliminates traffic ripples the more you use your AutoPilot. It only moves when it has to. It doesn't brake early if it doesn't need to. It doesn't brake late. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Well, at least in previous versions, there has been some late braking instances. There definitely have been. And I don't know how far this thing can see down the road. Let me know in the comments if you know. And oh, by the way, the newer systems really get you up to speed fast. Like if this person accelerates hard, we're going to accelerate hard. We're going to be right there with them. This person's not accelerating at a fast pace. It used to be that it would take off so slow, like it was, again, like nervous as could be. But it's not really like that anymore. Alright, I gotta bump up a little more speed. And of course, for suspension, I can adjust air suspension too while I'm driving. Actually, it's down to standard, but it'll... Anyway, that's on SMX with air suspension. Oh, it's not going to do anything. I'm taking over. I'm braking now too. It was going to go down to the light, which is not the best way to do it. This is the better way. And the supercharger's down there. I don't know if you can see it or not. So it's not going to be able to do anything in here. But the fun stuff it can do on private property like this is not a public road, is the smart summon. And actually, I might do that for you guys. See, especially in this area here where there's nobody around, I can fool around with smart summon and make some live. Actually, I can't make any live videos because, yeah, that's right, I can't do that. Because of my phone. Unless there's a way to use the key fob for smart summon. I wonder if they'll ever let you do that. That's what they should do. Remember, with superchargers, you don't want to double up. You don't want to get on the same number. There's an A and a B for each number. If you do, you're going to get a significantly reduced charge. So there's 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, and 4A, 4B. I'm going to pull in the 4B. Usually number 1 is the fastest rate of charge also, in my experience. I think they used to say that anyway. They also used to say that you used to have to report problems to Tesla, but you just don't. Actually, let me think if I can do the auto park. Actually, I don't know if I recommend auto park into the supercharger. Let me see, reverse. Let me see. No, it's not going to line up. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend. Whoops. I would not recommend using auto park into a supercharger because I don't think it's got that all figured out yet. I don't want to break anything. Whoa, you see I got pretty close there. Alright. So this is how superchargers work if you guys aren't familiar. Easy as can be. Thing opens up, it's like a sort of a semi-button thing, and it connects. It's kind of connecting, transmitting, making sure that everything's okay, and eventually it'll go green if it's going to charge, and you'll see it on the screen also. Right now it's still not quite blinking up. It'll happen any second. There we go, green. Now we're green. And it stays green while you're charging. There we go. And you get a report. That's if I want to go all the way to the top 55 minutes, but I'm not going to be here very long. Anyway, that is it. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure you subscribe to my channel. There's a Model 3 over there. digitalnomad.net. We got so much stuff just like this, all kinds of details, and more to come. See you guys later.